Guys, Cleveland's interesting, and the quarterback position is fascinating because you have Shedeur, who finished the season good and apparently was at all the mandatory stuff and all the voluntary stuff. And you got Deshaun Watson come back. We haven't seen play in years.
The Browns' quarterback competition is getting serious, and Shedeur Sanders is no longer fighting just to be included in the conversation. He's fighting for the actual starting job. After spending last year buried on the depth chart before eventually getting his opportunity, Shedeur is now splitting meaningful work with Deshaun Watson. That has completely changed the question in Cleveland. We aren't asking whether Shedeur will get a chance anymore. We're asking whether Todd Monken should hand him the football in Week 1 and find out if he can actually become Cleveland's long-term answer.
Probably Deshaun Watson, but I believe, my understanding is Shedeur Sanders has the opportunity to win the job in camp. It's a brand new coaching staff.
The interesting part is that ESPN has already been split on this. Stephen A. Smith looked at Shedeur's rookie numbers and basically said they weren't good enough to confidently hand him Week 1. That's fair. Sanders threw more interceptions than touchdowns and took too many sacks. But those numbers also leave out how strange his rookie season was. He started the year buried in Cleveland's quarterback room and finished it starting games. Now he has a new coach and an actual offseason built around improving instead of simply waiting for somebody else to fail.
At the beginning, they were very excited to see Deshaun Watson healthy, which he has not been for a while. So when their offseason began, I think that's probably where they were leaning. But Shedeur Sanders, to my understanding, has performed well throughout the offseason and made it at least a question mark.
That's where this year's competition is different. Last year, Shedeur had to climb through a quarterback room that included veterans and another rookie Cleveland had drafted ahead of him. This year, the Browns still list 4 quarterbacks, but the meaningful first-team battle has increasingly centered on Sanders and Watson. Cleveland's own offseason review says those two received the majority of first-team reps during OTAs and minicamp. Dillon Gabriel and rookie Taylon Green remain in the room, but right now, Shedeur has moved much closer to the front than anyone could have guaranteed when last season ended. And Shedeur didn't waste his first major opportunity. On day 1 of mandatory minicamp, Cleveland gave him the first-team reps during team drills. He responded by connecting with rookie receiver Denzel Boston for a deep touchdown, and then hit Isaiah Bond for another touchdown downfield. It's only minicamp. Nobody should pretend 2 practice touchdowns decide an NFL quarterback competition, but this is exactly what Sanders needed to do. When Cleveland gave him the starters, he gave the coaching staff something worth remembering. That matters because explosive plays have always been one of Shedeur's strongest arguments. His rookie year wasn't clean, but he showed flashes Cleveland couldn't completely ignore. He was willing to attack vertically, he could create when protection broke down, and he wasn't afraid of difficult throws. The problem was that sometimes he chased those plays too long. NFL windows disappear quickly, and holding the football while waiting for something huge can turn a promising possession into a sack. Todd Monken appears to be attacking that problem directly. Reports from Cleveland says Sanders has shown improvement in recognizing defenses and getting the ball out faster. That's probably more important than any spectacular practice throw, because the Browns already know Shedeur can make highlight plays. What they need to know is whether he can consistently run an NFL offense. Can he take the easy completion when it's there? Can he move through his reads faster? Can he avoid turning 2nd and 6 into 3rd and 15 because he refused to give up on a deep route? Monken has praised the progress, but training camp is where that improvement has to become consistent.
All the other coaches on the staff is extremely great. You're gonna understand and embrace you just as a person. Then they push you each and every day. In the meeting room and on the field in the weight room. Like, it's a new vibe, it's a new energy.
There is also a simple argument for starting Shedeur that has nothing to do with hype. Cleveland needs to find out why it has. Sanders is entering his 2nd season, and the Browns aren't in a position where they can spend another year avoiding the quarterback question. If Shedeur has legitimate starter potential, playing him gives Cleveland an answer. If he struggles badly, that gives the organization an answer too. Sitting him behind Watson for another year might make the team slightly safer in September, but it could leave the biggest question on the roster unanswered again. The problem is that Watson isn't disappearing. He missed last season while recovering from his Achilles injury, but he's back in the competition, and early indications suggest this is much closer than Shedeur fans might want to believe. Monken has said Sanders and Watson will continue getting first-team opportunities, and some Cleveland observers currently believe Watson has the edge because of his experience. That's why calling Shedeur the obvious Week 1 starter would be premature. He has moved himself into position to win the job. He hasn't actually won it yet.
Well, right now, I think it really is coming down to Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders. And I think that Todd Monken is going to let these guys have an open competition. They're going to be in the offseason program beginning April 6th, and he'll have a chance to see them a little bit, start to throw and to work out and to watch more of their film and get a better feel for what these guys are going to bring to the table.
And that's where Monken has a difficult decision. Watson gives him experience. Shedeur gives him possibility. Watson has played at a level Sanders has never reached in the NFL, but that version of Watson hasn't been seen consistently in years. Shedeur is younger and cheaper. He also finished last season actually playing football, while Watson spent the year recovering. Neither option comes without a massive question attached. For Shedeur, the strongest argument might be what happened once Cleveland finally stopped protecting him last season. He struggled at times, but he also survived. He started 7 games and threw for around 1,400 yards. He had 7 touchdown passes and double-digit interceptions, so nobody can look at those numbers and call the rookie season great. But he also won games and produced enough flashes to keep himself in Cleveland's plans. He eventually received a Pro Bowl invitation after other quarterbacks dropped out. More importantly, he entered this offseason with the coaching staff willing to put him with the starters. That's a massive change from his position 1 year earlier. In 2025, the national debate was about whether Shedeur could climb out of the bottom of Cleveland's crowded quarterback room. Now the debate is whether he should start Week 1. That doesn't happen unless the organization saw enough during his rookie year to believe there might be something worth developing.
Shedeur Sanders has a clear path runway to being this quarterback in 2026. I think they will let Deshaun Watson come in to compete with him. The thing about Deshaun Watson is we haven't seen the old Deshaun Watson in well over 5 years.
Still, Monken isn't going to choose a quarterback because fans want the younger guy. He has already made it clear that the number of practice reps won't always be equal and shouldn't automatically be interpreted as a final depth chart. One day Sanders can work with the first team, another day Watson can. Cleveland can also move Gabriel and Green around while evaluating the entire room. The coaches are trying to create different situations instead of pretending every quarterback needs the exact same number of snaps. That's why training camp and preseason matter so much. Shedeur has already shown he can win a practice. Now he has to show he can win the competition. That means avoiding the mistakes that hurt him last season. It means getting the offense lined up correctly and taking what the defense gives him. It means turning those flashes of creativity into something Cleveland can trust for 4 quarters. And Watson has to prove something too. Experience only matters if the veteran still gives Cleveland the better chance to win. If Sanders is clearly moving the offense better during camp and preseason, Monken can't ignore it simply because Watson has the bigger contract and longer resume. The Browns have spent too many seasons letting their quarterback situation become the story. At some point, they need to pick the player who is actually performing better.
See, I think the way how y'all look at things is different than how we look at things. We look at coming to practice every day being the best player we can be as an individual and as a good teammate. Y'all look at it as like a competition. It's like that's not really nothing I'm just focused on. I'm focused on developing as a player.
There is another reason starting Shedeur could make sense. Cleveland opens against Jacksonville on September 9. If Sanders wins the job in camp, giving him Week 1 means giving him the full preparation of being QB1. He gets the first game plan and the starting offense is built around what Monken believes he does best. That's much better than beginning with Watson, struggling for several weeks, and then throwing Shedeur into the middle of another messy season. But Cleveland shouldn't start him simply because the alternative feels old. Shedeur has to earn it. If Watson is clearly better throughout camp, starting Sanders just to satisfy the fan base would be a mistake. Development doesn't always mean playing immediately. Sometimes the best thing for a young quarterback is another stretch of learning before the pressure becomes real. That's why this competition is genuinely interesting instead of manufactured drama. There are legitimate arguments on both sides. Watson offers experience but comes with enormous questions about health and recent performance. Shedeur offers upside but still has to prove that the mistakes from his rookie season are disappearing.
Since there is a competition, a legitimate one, between he and Deshaun Watson, then I can't say he's going to be legendary because one guy is far from legendary.
Well, his dad is legendary.
Yes, his father is legendary.
So it's a lot to live up to, but I think it is.
So, should Shedeur Sanders start Week 1? Right now, the answer shouldn't be an automatic yes, but Cleveland absolutely needs to give him every opportunity to make it one. He's already done the difficult part. He went from 5th-round pick to rookie starter. Then he went from a messy first season to taking first-team offseason reps under a new coaching staff. Now the final step is proving he can run Monken's offense better than Watson when the competition becomes real. If Shedeur cleans up the sacks and turnovers while continuing to produce the explosive plays Cleveland saw during minicamp, the Browns are going to have a hard time keeping him off the field. At that point, starting Watson because of his name or contract wouldn't make much sense. The entire purpose of an open competition is to allow the best quarterback to win it. But if Shedeur can't separate himself, Cleveland shouldn't force the story either. The Browns need stability more than another quarterback controversy. Monken's job is to figure out which player gives this offense the best chance to function every Sunday and then commit to him. What makes this so different from last year is that Shedeur finally controls part of the answer himself. He isn't waiting behind 3 quarterbacks hoping somebody gives him a chance. He's taking first-team snaps, he's making throws with the starters, and he's directly competing with Watson for the job. Cleveland has given him the opportunity he wanted. Now Shedeur has to make the decision impossible for them. Because if he walks into training camp and clearly outplays Watson, the question won't be whether Shedeur Sanders deserves to start Week 1 anymore. The question will be how the Browns could possibly justify starting anybody else.